Hey guys, so welcome back. I am out here in Hollywood. Just got off the train and just got done with classes for today. As you guys can see, they're already getting ready for Christmas. I'm always shooting something out here. So I know it's been a while since I checked in with you guys. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm getting better actually. Had a cold for the past week. I got it like last Wednesday, and so I'm just now getting over it. Trying to anyway. Hold on, y'all. Let me do something real quick. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So, yes, 5 more weeks left in this semester. I'm so happy. And I don't know where I get this freaking cold from. Where are these police going? Police. What is really going on? Where are police? I'm headed home. I kind of got done late today because I stayed after to work on my IRB application. Well, not really working on it, but I stayed after to submit it actually. I just submitted to IRB for approval. And I heard back already from them. They say it takes like a while to hear back if you have a full board review. Sorry guys. Let that pass. Okay. So they say it takes like a while to hear back from them, but I submitted today and I heard back like right away. And they just gave me a few suggestions on like what I need to do in terms of I have to like make some corrections and then resubmit. So not really resubmit, but edit it and like resubmit it so that they can review it. But I'm feeling pretty good about it because I don't know. I like my topic. My topic is I've told you guys like 1,000 times already, but in case you guys are just not tuning in, my topic, my research topic is implicit racial bias in children and identity development and caretakers. They're caretakers. So that's for my practicum. My dissertation is going to build upon that topic. Excuse me, guys. It's kind of hard for me to hear because I'm all stopped up and my ears are stopped up. Everything is like stopped up in my head right now, so I can barely hear. I can barely hear myself talk. I'm sitting in class today like, can't hear, but I had a great day in class. To say the least, I had my psychodynamic class today. And it's pretty interesting. Pretty mind-blowing, the things that we talk about in my psychodynamic class. I know it's been so long since I came in and checked in with you guys. I don't know what should I say. It's a lot has happened, I guess, since the last time I came in to check in with you guys. I actually went to DC last month. I'm gonna take you guys a different route because I'm actually headed home, but I want you guys to see where I live, so I'm gonna take a detour. But I went to DC. I was in DC for I was in New York and for a couple days, and I went to DC for about a week. Had a great time there. I went to the White House. You guys can go check out my videos that I posted on my visit to the White House. It was so lovely. And I went to go check out a few national monuments around the White House, and I went to the African American Museum. So you guys go check that out. What else? Oh, I really want to talk to you guys about my internship because I started my internship working with clients. Look at that building though. I like that building right there. It's nice. It's tall. But I started my practicum working with clients, and as you guys may or may not know, I'm carrying a lot of bags, number one. Carrying my book bags, and I'm carrying a waist kit. If you guys who don't know, it stands for the Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale. It's an intelligence test that I have here in this bag. I'm carrying the Bender and the RCFT assessment. So I got like a lot of weight on me, but yeah, I've been there for my practicum site for about, I don't know, 6 weeks now. And it's going okay. It's going good. You know, it's like, it can be worse, right? I mean, I'm getting the hours that I need, but I don't know. It feels kind of weird. I was thinking about whether I should come to you guys and talk to you guys about this or not. And I'm like, you know, what the heck? I want to talk to you guys about it, but look at Capitol Records. I pass by this place every day when I come home. So yeah, I'm going to take a pause real quick. Why you got these bricks like this? I guess I don't want nobody sitting up here. I'm going to take a pause for the cause. So, yeah, I meet with my supervisor pretty frequently at my internship site. And I met with him, today is Thursday, I met with him yesterday, yeah. And we had a meeting on CPI training. It's crisis prevention training. Basically, the training that they give people who work with clients directly, teach us ways on how to intervene. I've taken it like back in, was it 2007? Yeah, I got certified back in 2007 when I graduated from college, and I was working at my first full-time job post-college. And so I'm familiar with, CPI training, but I had to take it again to get recertified. And during the training, my supervisor, he was like telling us a story. He loved to tell stories too, right? And, part of the story, I'm asking myself, should I get offended by this or should I not? But he goes to say that there was a staff member working there. I don't think he was an intern, a psych intern, but I believe he was a staff. And you guys know I work with adults with intellectual disabilities and severe mental illness. So they have a lot of times, multiple diagnoses. And I think, most of them are, white, Caucasian, some Latino. But for the most part, I don't work with black clients. I work with non-black clients. And that's pretty much the client population that they see in that program that I work at. It's in the Valley. And so my supervisor is telling me during training, he was like giving us this little story, right? He loves the stories and scenarios. And I'm wondering, like, is he making this stuff up? So you guys tell me if this is racist. I don't know. But tell me, how would you guys respond if your supervisor came to you and gave you this story, right? And I'm going to tell you guys how I responded. So my supervisor was like, sorry, y'all, I'm so congested, like, I was blowing my nose and I can barely hear. My ears are stopped up. Shit is so freaking annoying. So he's like, it was a staff that worked there. He was African-American guy. Big, kind of like a bouncer type guy, right? And he worked there at the treatment center with the clients a couple years ago. And so, one of the clients who was white had got upset, right? He got a little riled up with the staff and called him nigger. This is the story that my supervisor is telling me. Now, mind you, while my supervisor is telling us the story, he used the actual word nigger, right? He was like, so the client was like, nigger. And he said it like it was nothing, right? No hesitation or nothing, like nigger. And then he told us how the staff, which is a black guy, responded in that scenario. He said that the staff was like, I'm about to go out there and I'm about to put him in his place. You know how black people be, right? And so my supervisor was like, no, don't you go out there. And so my supervisor basically was saying that he was trying to guard the client, but at the same time hold the guy back, the staff member back, right, from going out there to check the client, right, put him in his place, for calling him a nigger. And so he told the story when he said it. You know me, I'm pretty good with the mind stuff, y'all. And I kind of figured, I think sometimes white people be testing us, y'all, trying to get up in our motherfucking head, right?
How you doing, Brad?
Hi. So, yeah, I believe he was trying to test us. He was trying to test, I don't want to take you guys home with me just yet. But yeah, he was like, I think that white people be trying to test us, and being that, you know, he is my supervisor, right, at my internship site, and I'm in the PhD program. You get what I'm saying? I have to be wise on how I act and respond to certain types of things. You guys know. So I had, you know, I listened to what he said, right? Listened to his story. You know, shaking my head, listening. Didn't give him really much reaction. I think that what he kind of expected to get from me, right? And mind you, now this isn't the first time he mentioned something along those lines about nigger or nigga, and, you know, race and how black people are treated in certain areas and stuff like that. Like, and I'm wondering, like, why is he emphasizing race? So it had me thinking. Sometimes it has me thinking. But I did not give him the reaction, I guess, that maybe he would, most people maybe would think that a black person would react, because most people, when they hear, especially black people, like black people, we don't play when it comes to the word nigger. So I want to ask you guys, like, how would you respond if your supervisor used that word, nigger? And is it even appropriate? I don't think it's appropriate, honestly. Because number one, it's a triggering word. So unless you want to trigger negative emotions in a person, then okay, use it. And I had one supervisor, but I had one professor. He was talking about this one black lady, right, who's already a licensed psychologist here in California. And he was like, oh, I love her, whatever, because she was a good black woman. She already had worked through all her stuff, right? Kind of insinuating that she wasn't moved by racism or, you know, stuff that black people get offended by. And so I'm like, I don't know, I analyze everything, and I wonder, you know, what's the whole point? Why are y'all bringing this up? You get what I'm saying? Are you bringing it up as a teaching moment? Because I feel there's ways you can teach. You know, like I said, this was in the context of a training that I took yesterday with my supervisor, CPI training, to train us how to intervene in a safe manner, you know, in a basically non-physical manner, and learn how to de-escalate a situation. I already know how to do that because I've taken eons of trainings in that area. And I'm not new to this field. I've been in this field since 2002. Probably, or no, actually before then. Well, I graduated high school in 2002, but I mean, yeah, I guess you can say I've been in the field since 2002, right? That's when I started my bachelor's degree. And so, like, I'm not new to this field of mental health and psychology, you know, so I have training in that area, knowing how to intervene and de-escalate a situation without necessarily having to put hands on when you're working with a client who is verbally or physically acting out. So I already know how to do that. And so I'm so good. Sorry, guys. Bad reception, but like I was saying, like, I already know how to de-escalate a situation, you know, using verbal techniques without necessarily having to put hands on. You know, I think I'm pretty good at doing that. I'm pretty good with people altogether, working with people and stuff like that. And being able to perceive certain nonverbal and verbal cues, you know, as at the onset before they get out of control. So, I don't know. And he knows that I've already been certified in CPI training and crisis de-escalation. But why did he have to, I don't know, why did he have to mention that? I'm like, why is he mentioning this story where he had an employee who got offended by a client using the word nigger, and why would you even use that? And so then he also going to say that the same guy, the black guy, right, the staff, I ain't even finished the story yet, y'all, but then he going to say that the black guy during training, you know, he acted all like during his training, during his CPI training, he was acting all macho. Now, before the guy started working in a treatment center, he said this black guy was like a bouncer at a club. And so he was pretty buff, you know. And he said in the training, he had a different kind of approach. He was like, trying to flex his muscles and stuff and show off and like saying, you know, yeah, I'm tough, I'm strong and stuff like that. And I'm trying to figure out, like, why would he mention that, right? But essentially the outcome of that situation after, you know, the issue between the black guy being called a nigger at his job by one of the clients, you know, and the supervisor intervening. The outcome was that, y'all guess the outcome. I want y'all to guess the outcome. What y'all think the outcome was? But essentially, because the black guy, you know, wanted to go out there and kind of check the client. I don't even think he necessarily wanted to put hands on the client, but, you know, check him, you know. He got fired, right? By my supervisor. My supervisor's telling us that, oh, he fired the guy. You know, and then the way, just, I don't know, it's the tone in which my supervisor was telling the story. He's like, yeah, I showed him. You know, like, yeah, I showed the black guy, whatever. That teaches him. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm sitting in my chair. I didn't say, you know, anything or whatever. I ain't try to defend the black guy. I think that's what he told that story specifically, because I'm pretty sure my supervisor, he's in private practice, right? He's been in private practice for nearly 20 years now. So I know he has a lot of stories, a shitload of stories he can pull from. What is this in my eye? But he has a shitload of stories he can pull from and tell, right? So the fact he chose to tell that particular story, I don't know. I guess because I'm a black girl and I'm in training. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Help me figure it out. But I can say this, that, I mean, I didn't get necessarily upset or angry, but it did make me think. It made me wonder, you know, what is going on? What is up? Look at Lee Daniels' star. I was there when Lee Daniels got his star. You guys go check out my video on that. But it makes me wonder, like, what is the whole point? You guys help me understand this, because I'm like, what is the whole point? And to me, he didn't say anything about what happened to the client. He basically told me that story to say, this is what is going to happen to an employee, you know, if they react in a certain way towards a client. He's saying that the employee reacted improperly, I guess. Now, the employee didn't even put his hands on them, but I don't know. You know, it's always two sides to a story, so who knows what really happened, you guys. You get what I'm saying? Who knows what really happened? But he's saying that the guy, the black employee / bouncer guy, you know, was all macho, and then he even said, the supervisor was like, well, he don't think that he was fit for that kind of position. Now I'm thinking, you've been in this field how long? And it took a situation like that to happen for you to so-called come to the conclusion that a bouncer guy is not fit to work in mental health with clients, you know, who are physically aggressive. Because these clients are, you know, are not just verbally aggressive. They don't just have mental illness, but a lot of times the mental illness leads them to act out physically, right? You know, towards other people. And so, I don't know, it just made me wonder, like, you hired this guy knowing he's a bouncer type. Like, that's how he references, bouncer type, right? Bouncer type. He's a bouncer type. I'm like, if he's a bouncer type, then what the hell do you expect? He was like, oh, well, being that he was a bouncer type, he's used to kind of just reacting very quickly without, I guess, thinking about a therapeutic approach to go about responding to a situation like that. And I mean, I get it. Trust me, I see it from both sides, right? Because there's a way that you can intervene in a therapeutic way, right? Without necessarily getting all bent out of shape. But he made it seem as though the black guy was like losing his cool, and that word nigger triggered him to put his hands, or want to put his hands anyway, on the client. And that's what my supervisor, he's kind of insinuating that he feared that, I guess, that the employee was going to lash out and put his hands on the client. So he made it seem like he had to hold him back. And I'm like, whatever. I don't know. So moral of the story is, if you're a black employee working with white clients, they can say nigger and you can't do nothing about it, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's what he's trying to say. But to me, the fact that he didn't offer a solution, that's not a complete solution. Okay, you can remove the employee from the client, right, and say don't go outside. Because I think he was saying that the client was outside when he called him a nigger. The employee was inside, and that word triggered him to want to go outside and do something about it. And so, I don't know. To me, that don't make sense to me. That was like the only outcome of the situation. What is happening out here? But that bothered me. That bothered me. No, but to me, I don't know. I wonder. It made me wonder. Like, that's the only outcome of the situation. He ain't said nothing about what happened to the client. Like, how did you correct the client's behavior? You get what I'm saying? Who said nigger? Did you teach the client by not reprimanding the client? Did you teach him that it's okay to do that? You know, because clients, they're not stupid. I don't care what kind of disability they have or mental illness they have. They ain't stupid. So, a situation like that happens with a client, right? Where a client does that to a staff, and then then the staff gets fired, right? And the client notices the staff doesn't come back. Hello? What is that teaching the client? You get what I'm saying? That these white clients can just be calling us niggers. And mind you now, the position that this guy had, he's a caretaker. He's a staff who's working directly with the client at that level. You get what I'm saying? So essentially, you're a caretaker. You're taking care of these clients, you know? I don't know. But if I was director of the program, I wouldn't have that in my program, number one. You know, and I would not have my staff or interns feel threatened. I wouldn't want to make them feel threatened by these freaking clients. But I just want to tell you guys that story because that happened yesterday in my training at my internship site, and it had me thinking for a minute. Like, I don't know, y'all know I have a very high sensitivity to racial bias and racist motherfuckers. So my antennas are always up to stuff like that. And yes, I do love and value my education and the struggle of my man, but guess what? I value my identity as a black person even more. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell was his point in telling that story. You get what I'm saying? I just don't know. I'm like, is that one of his fears? I mean, for him to tell that story, is it a fear of his that he fears maybe me as a black woman maybe act out? Now, I didn't even tell you. I didn't even all of the story, y'all. So many pieces to the story, right? Because it wasn't just me in the training yesterday. It was me and 2 other interns. Now, when I mention interns, we are intern psychologists, essentially, working under licensed psychologists. Then you have the staff who work there directly with the clients. So it's me and 2 other interns there, PhD students. And we all sitting in this thing on training with him together. And I'm black, of course they white. They're not black, they white. But he's looking at me when he's telling the story. I'm like, interesting enough. Trust me, I pay attention to everything. I notice he's making more eye contact with me as he's telling this story. But outside of that, you know, he's not looking at me. He's looking at the other 2 girls, talking to them. But when you tell a story about a client calling the black staff nigger, then you direct your eyes on me. And it's just the way he said the nigger. It's just the way he said it, y'all. I'm just like, this man just used that word nigger with no shame or guilt or hesitation. I guess, but I mean, at the end of the day, the word nigger was invented by racist white people, right? So I guess they can have the liberty to use the word as they feel like they please, because they invented the word. And I feel like only a race of people, I ain't gonna say entire race, but only a group of people who use that word against black people in a derogatory manner would invent such a word. Only those kind of people are people who niggers themselves. You know, you're a nigger yourself, right? You call somebody else a nigger, you a nigger. So that's the end of that. But I just find that, quite interesting. I find that quite interesting. And I wonder, he's like, at that level, right? Because he is a licensed psychologist. And I'm like, at that level, who is supervising him? And even my professor in my law and ethics class last summer, right? He was telling us in our class that, once you become a licensed psychologist, that you are pretty much at the top of the chain, top of the food. You're at the top of the chain, but only people who are above us are psychiatrists, medical and physicians, medical doctors. And so, you are pretty much at the top of the chain. Hope y'all can hear me. I have to take a break. But yeah, it's like you at the top of the chain, and so I think a lot of psychologists, when they get that level of status, they just feel like, oh, I'm at the top, I can do what I want. A lot of them end up doing what they want, doing therapy how they want, doing everything how they want, just doing business how they want, and especially in private practice, you definitely doing shit how you want to do, So I'm like, who is checking them other than the licensing board, right? And from what I hear, it's not that easy just to go and file a complaint. I feel like it is if it's a certain race that you filing a complaint against, but if it's a white licensed psychologist, the way my professor said it, and the one who taught my law and ethics class, he's also he is the president of the licensing board of psychology in California. The way he said it, he's like, file a complaint. What's the complaint gonna do? Filing a complaint against someone's license. So to me, I just find that to be quite interesting. But I'm tired of him bringing up those stories. You bring up one more story about race. You get what I'm saying? Because I ain't mentioned nothing about race. I haven't mentioned, yes, that's my focus. That's my research and clinical focus, right? But I haven't, in terms of with my professors or anything, I haven't brought up race or anything like that. So I'm like, why is he bringing up race? And then not only that, why is he bringing up derogatory racial terms? You get what I'm saying? And if he wanted to tell the story, I feel like he could have told the story without saying the word nigger. He could have said the N-word. You get what I'm saying? But then when he referenced the word again in the same story, he said N-word. He didn't say nigger. So I'm like, motherfucker, you know the difference. So why the hell the first time did you say nigger? But I just find that very interesting. I'm like, don't try us. Don't try me, man. But outside of that, everything has been going pretty well. Like I said, I submitted my application, my IRB application to IRB for approval for my research. So I heard back from them right away, and they told me that I have to do like 3 things. It's just like 3 minor things to my application that I kind of, I guess, overlooked. But I could have sworn I added it. She told me I had to add my research supervisor, which I could have sworn I did to my application. Like, I could have sworn I did that, but maybe I didn't click the add button. I don't know. Because I was taking my time filling out the application. I know I put his name down as one of the because it's like it's an online application, and then the personnel tab is where you add co-investigators and or research supervisors. And being that I'm the principal investigator in my research, my professor, he gave us an option as to whether we can add him as a co-investigator or just simply add him as our supervisor. And I'm like, he's just my supervisor. Why would I add him as a co-investigator when I'm doing all the freaking work? I meet with him and he gives me guidance here and there, but I'm doing all the freaking work and on my project. And so I'm have to go back and edit my application and resubmit it. And I read the website, and they told me that it could take 7 weeks for them to approve it. I'm like, I need to approve it. And that They said that I guess they're gonna work, the IRB board is gonna work through the end of the semester. The semester ends like December 14th or something like that. And then they're gonna come back January 4th or 5th, I think, to continue reviewing proposals. So hopefully the sooner the better. The sooner I get approved for this research, I'll be able to go ahead and start recruiting participants. I need 70 or 60, I think. How many did I determine I need? According to my G-Power analysis, I think I need 60 or 70 participants, pairs actually. Excuse me. And that would be, so 30 children, 30 parents in the LA area. But I might recruit more. This is going to be a very interesting study. I can't wait, y'all. I can't wait. And I was walking, so I don't know if you guys heard me clearly, but my topic is childhood implicit racial bias and identity development, enculturation, and caretakers. So I'm going to look at those three constructs and see what we can find. What else? I have 5 more weeks left, you guys, of this semester, so it's going by pretty fast. And then I have spring semester, and then like 2 classes in the summer, and then I'll be done with my 2nd year of a PhD program. That means I would have completed 2 years of my PhD study by summer 2018, and I'll have 2 more years to go. So almost halfway there, y'all. Halfway there. I'm hanging in there. I am sticking it out. I am a strong, strong woman, y'all. Because I've been through some things. Like the first semester was a breeze, right? And then like towards, even the 2nd semester was a breeze, but it was like towards the end of the 2nd semester, which was spring 2017, is when we had some issues. You guys can go back and watch my videos on that if you care to watch them. Where I talk about my little issues that I had with this program that I'm in. But at this stage I'm at now, it's like, you know, what the hell can you say? Some things is like, you know, what can you expect from white people, right? Majority of white people, or people in general. You know, you expect that you get to a certain level, you know, of your career and training, and you think that racism and racial bias is just going to disappear. Hell no. It don't happen that way. It's always going to be there, no matter what level you are at. And so, me, being the woman that I am, and I guess coming from a totally different part of this country, where we have a 0 tolerance for racism in the South. We have a very, you know, a low tolerance for that bullshit. We don't tolerate that shit. We don't deal with it. You know, and so coming out here in California, a lot of people are like, oh, it's nice, you know, California's nice. Why do you want to move back to the East Coast? Because I do have plans on moving back to the East Coast. I'm not telling you guys when, but hey, soon enough. And they're like, why do you want to move back? And I'm like, you know what? LA is very whitewashed, and nobody told me that this is pretty much Mexico out here. You know, moving to LA is like moving to Mexico. It's Mexico. But it's alright, y'all. It's alright. I can't complain too much. What else? I'm trying to see. What else? Because it's been a while since I talked to you guys. It's been a while. I've been doing well, though. I've been doing pretty well. I'm so glad today is Thursday. So it's my weekend. It's my Friday today. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. No work tomorrow. I usually have my internship on Fridays, but no internship tomorrow. And I do have to do some work, though. Like I said, I have to revise my RB application and resubmit it. And then I have to work on a few other things. I have to actually complete this report. So let me tell you guys what I got to do for the rest of the semester. It's not really that much. So I have an assessment class. I have to do my scoring of the waste, RCFT, and the bender, which are 3 assessments that I've given my mock client. I have to score them, and I have to write on my report, and it's a certain format for writing up during psychological report writing. So I have to do that. That's due on Tuesday. And the only thing left that I have for that class after that is the 3rd report section, which includes the MMPI score results and the Achenbach which is a self-report. I know you guys like, well, what in the hell is that? The MMPI stands for Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory, which assesses personality, obviously. It consists of 567 questions, true-false questions, that we give clients to determine their personality types. You know, so many different types of personalities out there that exist. So I have to do the scoring. I administer all of those tests I need to administer. So I just have to pretty much go back and score them and do my reports for that class. That's assessment. Then my other class is my history and systems class, which I do have history and systems analysis paper, where we pretty much critique a system or a theory, a school of thought, essentially. So there are different types of schools of thought and ways that we can approach our understanding of human behavior. There's behaviorism. There is this, so many different, there's just thought therapy. There is cognitive CBT therapy, which is a school, psychodynamic, which is my other class that I had today on Thursdays. That's a school of thought, which is the system that I operate under. I'm a psychoanalyst. I like to, it's basically psychoanalysis is different than other schools of thought within psychology in that it goes a little bit deeper. And it's actually able to work through a person's personality, whereas in most traditional psychology schools of thought, they don't really mess that much with personality because it's understood that personality is a pretty much stable trait over time, so it's something that really cannot be changed. Whereas in psychodynamic therapy or the theory of psychoanalysis is that, you know, we do work within that personality structure or personality structures to get to the root of the problem and make the client better. So that is my preferred school of thought, but we have to, for that class, we do have to do a paper where we critique a school of thought. And I asked him, I said, well, because the syllabus says that we have to pick one that exists, but I'm like, can we create our own school of thought? Because I have some ideas. And he was like, sure, why not? So I think I'm going to maybe do a little bit critique of pre-existing schools of thought, and then I'm going to create my own school of thought / system. So I'll come back and let you guys know what I come up with. And what else? Now that's pretty much it. I don't have much left, you guys, for this semester. For my psychodynamic class that I have on Thursdays, I don't really have that much. I just have a techniques paper, which he said is more of a reflection paper, and a process note. So pretty simple. Not much really to do this semester. And I have to rewrite a paper from last semester. And that's it. That is it. And I'll be done with this semester, y'all. I'll be so happy when I'm finished with this semester. It's like, I think the first 2 years of this program are the most challenging, but it eases up. It eases up as time goes by. So third and fourth year, because the course load gets lighter. The third and the fourth year. So it's just getting through this year. I'm almost finished with this semester, fall semester, and getting through spring and summer, and then the rest is going to be a piece of cake. We are already in the process of applying for our second internship within the program. So let me clarify some things. We have 3 practicums that we do within our program. So we have the first practicum, which is done on the second year, which I'm in now. We have the second practicum, which is our, the second practicum is our 3rd year, and then the 4th practicum is our 4th year. Wait, I don't know. Sorry, I mixed that up, y'all. First practicum, 2nd year. Second practicum, 3rd year. Third practicum, 4th year. I think I said that right. And then the 5th year of the program, which I don't even count, is the internship, and it's a paid internship that we can do anywhere in the country. So I am so ready for that. I'm so ready. But I feel, like I said, I feel good right now in the program where I'm at, because I'm getting a sense that I'm moving, I'm making progress, and it's like, it reminds me of my progression as an undergraduate. You know, you have your freshman, then once you know, finish your first year as a freshman in undergrad, you go to your second year, sophomore year, and it's just like before you know it, when you finish your sophomore year, it's pretty much countdown to graduation because you have your 2 years left, your junior year and your senior, and just like before you know it, you know, you're like, oh, I'm gonna miss this, I'm gonna miss it, can I go back and start over again? Yeah, right, psych. I don't want to start over again, but I'm feeling pretty good about this program. I mean, not really the program, because y'all already know how I feel about the program, but, you know, I'm feeling good about my progress, you know, and moving along. I'm almost there. I'm almost done, so I thank you guys for tuning in. I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this vlog. It's been a while, I know, since I've talked to you guys. Oh, I want to end it by telling you guys one more story. So I met, and I always meet people, right? This guy I was talking to, I noticed that I'm interested in BDSM. So, you know what this fool gonna say? Excuse me. You know what this fool gonna say? He's like, oh, you a freak. Right then and there, I shut down communication. I'm like, dude, that's one thing you don't do. So that's a message to you guys. If you come across a person who has different sexual tastes or interests, don't use the word freak. Freak as a negative connotation. It's a derogatory word. Freak. It's not a good thing, right? The tone in which he said it as if it's like, oh, you're a freak. Like I'm supposed to be like, yeah, no, bitch, no, no. I shut it down, y'all. I shut it down so fast because I'm like, number one, you got the wrong idea. And then, you know, to me, it's not up to me to correct or change your perception. And I'm at this point where I don't even got the patience for that shit, y'all. I ain't trying to make no boy no man. I ain't got time for that. And I'm not trying to change people's views of certain things that they already had before we get together. I'm like, nah, I'm good. So I think my focus right now, and for the remainder, or until, you know, God send me somebody, is just focus on my PhD program. Like they say, books before boys, because boys bring babies. So that's my motto. Hey, it worked through undergrad. Didn't get pregnant. It worked after then. You know, when I was building my career and even building my business. And guess what? Even through my master's program, focus on those books, baby. That's why I am 34 years old. Yes, I'm single, no kids, and it's not a bad thing to me because I'm meeting women who are like in their late 30s, hell, even 40s, and are having babies. So I'm like, you know what, it's not a big thing to me like it was before. I'm not too stressed out about it, like, oh, I gotta help me get pregnant, I gotta have kids, like, no, I gotta finish this goddamn PhD program and get licensed and go ahead and continue on with my career and mental health. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. It's getting late. I'm loving the weather in LA. The weather do be changing up so fast, but hey, I'm loving it. I like that it cooled down. I will be back on the East Coast pretty soon, so I'll let you guys know when. But thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys later. I'm headed home. Love you guys. Bye-bye.